class of 2021. It's Amber, your personal financial aid consultant. I am back today to share some information on the FAFSA application. The FAFSA application opened last week, October 1st, and that means that your FAFSA application for your freshman year of college is available and you can complete that at any time. So before you complete it, I have a few notes that I want to go over so that hopefully it's a seamless and an easy and pain-free process. And so let's talk. The first thing I want you guys to make a note of is that the username and password is probably the most difficult part of the FAFSA application for many families. There were families who were literally at each other's throats because of this username and password. So let me tell you what happens. Mom or dad sits down at the computer, they get started completing the FAFSA application on your behalf, and they are asked the question, what's your first name? And they type in their first name. And then they're asked for their email address and for their social security number, and they do so. And then they have to turn around and establish a username and password for you because they've just taken care of theirs. Well, when they go and they establish a username and password for you, maybe they put your first name and they say, this is my student's first name. But then when it comes to the email, oh, I'll just use my work email. So they use their own email. And then social security number, they type in the first few digits of their social security number and then they finish it with yours. Or something happens because they're in the driver's seat and they're answering these questions for another person as if they're that person. And the reality is there's no need. The student should sit down and do their own username and password, and the parent should sit down and establish their own username and password so there is no overlap and there's no hiccup. That is probably the hardest part of the FAFSA application, is that mom or dad is in the driver's seat a little bit too long, where the student should be in the driver's seat as it's the student's application for financial aid. Now, do I recommend that your mom and dad help you? Absolutely. I would absolutely love for you and for your parents to sit together and complete the application at the same time, if that's possible. So that means that they establish the parent username and password. Only one parent needs to do that. And then the student sits down and you, the student, you establish your own username and password. And then we start the application. I think it's a really good idea for you, the student, to be in the driver's seat filling out the application, because they're going to ask you your intended college, they're going to ask your address, they're going to ask your birthday, they're going to ask your gender, and I don't want somebody else sitting in the seat for you and maybe answering the questions incorrectly because they're thinking about their own information and not yours. Okay, once we're in the FAFSA application successfully, we've logged in with username and password. FAFSA is going to ask for tax information. That's how they determine your eligibility for financial aid. So the tax information is going to be tax info for 2 years ago. I know that seems a little funny because you just did taxes this year, but they're not asking for this year's taxes. They're asking for taxes from 2 years prior. So you'll see the tax date listed and you'll say, what in the world? Go with it. It's correct. Make sure, though, that you are on the 2021-2022 FAFSA application. And if you've started the application and you're not sure, log out, log back in, and just make sure that's the 21-22 application, because you're starting classes fall of 2021. And then you'll continue classes into 2022. That will probably be your spring semester or your winter semester or winter quarter. So you'll go through the full year. Your FAFSA application is for the full year. Right now, though, there is another FAFSA application open, and that's the 2020-2021 application. We do not want that one. So just make sure that you're in the right application. There's always going to be 2 FAFSA applications open in October. And October is when the new FAFSA is always open. So just get that in your mind. There's going to be 2. You'll always have to look and figure out which one. 2021-2022 is yours. And you can think about it, you're graduating in 2021. 2021 is when you're going to start school, so that is the starting point for your FAFSA. Okay, now we're in the application, you're answering all the questions they ask you. Yes, you need to answer every single question. If you don't have your driver's license with you, just pause for a minute, go grab your wallet or your purse, get the driver's license so that you can answer every question that's asked of you. It makes it a lot easier, and it also helps you to avoid errors in the end. Now, they're going to ask again for your tax information. That is going to be a simple download. You're technically going to the IRS website and downloading tax information into the FAFSA. It's really simple. It's really streamlined. You're going to be sent to the IRS website. You click a button that says retrieve information, and then you go back into the FAFSA application. There are a few hiccups that can happen there. Sometimes it's due to the fact that you have an address that is abbreviated normally, but when the tax preparer sent the tax return in, it was not abbreviated. So if you have a problem downloading your tax information, look at the address. If your road is spelled out, R-O-A-D, spell it out the way it is on the tax form. If it's abbreviated, R-D, just do the R-D, leave the period off. Sometimes there's punctuation issues with the IRS retrieval. So just, if you can, have your tax form handy and mimic whatever's on your tax form. So however they wrote it out, write it the exact same way, even if that means it's all caps. Because that's usually handy or helpful to get you through that step. So let's say that's gone successfully. You've downloaded your tax information into the FAFSA. The next step is to sign and submit the FAFSA. Both parent and student will need to do so. And then at the end, they're going to give you a confirmation page. That confirmation page is liquid gold. Not liquid because it's a piece of paper. No, it's not paper, it's electronic. Still kind of liquid because it's on your computer screen. Nonetheless, it is gold. The confirmation page is the page that you want to either screenshot with your phone or you want to print out. That page is going to tell you if you're eligible for the federal Pell Grant, which is the free money that everybody wants. And if you're not eligible for the federal Pell Grant, it will tell you that as well. So you're not looking for that from the college or university. And then it also will tell you about federal loans, and they'll give you a loan amount. Now, this is not borrowing federal loans, and I'm not going to advocate for you to borrow loans if you don't have to. We're going to talk about that more as the year goes on. But it does give you, it's a key. It gives you access if you do happen to need federal grants and loans. It just gives you that information right now. A lot of students wait until they get the award letter from the college or university to find out what they're eligible for. This is going to give you that right real time right here and now. So as soon as you click submit, confirmation page comes up. You either print that page or you do a screenshot. I hope that helps. There's so much more that we're going to get into this month regarding the FAFSA application. So what we'll do is we'll start here. If you can fill out the application with no issues, fine. If you get to a point that you feel like you're not comfortable, you want to stop and save the application and come back later, you can do that too. And if you don't have parent information to even put into the FAFSA, we'll talk about what to do. I will see you next week. And if you complete the FAFSA application between now and then, comment below and just let me know. And if you have any questions or concerns, or you have any hiccups, don't give specific information. For instance, here's a screenshot of my FAFSA page. Don't do that. But just type out a comment and just say, hey, I'm on the page that asks for whatever information. What am I supposed to do?